Hi, I'm Natasha Lockhart. Welcome to Studio Chatter. School is ending and life just keeps getting busier.
I'm Stacy Beck. We'll talk with a woman that loves her flower garden and is now sharing the beauty.
And I'm Angela Euler. We'll talk about how the city is helping preserve history and honoring our veterans.
And we'll talk about helping kids with cancer. All that and more is coming up on Studio Chatter. Welcome to Studio Chatter. Raise your hand if your schedule is a bit overwhelming.
Can we raise two hands?
Right.
So,
Huh?
yeah.
Yeah, here we are.
Two hands.
You have 4 kids all at home. So
Yeah.
much going on.
Yeah, one graduating. One just got a mission call.
Same one.
Same one, right? Right.
Yes.
He's taken up lots of time. And just everything, right? You have end of year award things, graduation, programs.
All
Yes.
of it.
All the things.
All the things in not even a month, you guys. It's
Yeah.
like, what is it, 2 or 3 weeks? All of it crammed in.
So, are you looking forward to here in a week, 2 weeks, them all being home?
Yes and no.
Okay. I always went in a little bit insane the first week, like just to
Did you?
adjust. Yeah, I remember pacing outside on the sidewalk. Like, what am I going to do with these guys for 3 months? But after you get into your new rhythm, it's good, and then you're sad for them to go to school.
Yeah. I
do
have
you
never
feel-
been sad at the end of the summer.
You're ready?
For them to go to school. Mostly because I like the balance. I like having my own time.
Yes.
But I love having them home. I honestly am like, I could just do this forever. I don't want them to move out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're entering that next phase.
It's so scary.
When
and
is your son leaving?
Not until October officially.
Oh, that's a ways away.
Well, we say that, right? And we'll be here in the next, and then we'll be like, oh,
like
and here
front
we
end
are.
of October, back end of October.
Front, October
Okay.
2nd.
And where is he going?
Yeah. So he's going to the Washington Tacoma mission.
Okay.
Yay.
So
That's awesome.
beautiful there.
Yes.
And he got to meet, I'm sure he'll meet some interesting people.
Yes, he will.
So what about you guys? Natasha, you probably got lots going
Lots
on.
of things going on. Yes,
With
we're
just-
still
even with just two
just
kids.
the 2. Yes, but they do many things. So I feel like I have
Yes.
4 kids sometimes.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I mean, I feel like our summer's already like booked because we're already into like soccer tryouts and there's cheer things going on and dance things going on. We're flying out this weekend for another fashion show and then we'll come back and wrap things up. But I mean,
Is this
it's all
another one
good.
in New York?
No, that would be probably in the fall again. This one's actually in Denver. So we're gonna go.
I didn't know Denver had some fashion shows.
They do, yes.
Do they have big furry?
Actually, it's
and-
no. This time it's like neon 90s.
90s.
So
Okay.
yep. So
Oh, and is it going to be like dance wear again? Is that what it was for? Okay.
right, yeah.
Okay.
So she'll be walking for the same designer, but
That's so fun.
that's the inspo. So you'll see some crimped hair and some of the
Okay.
neon stuff. So
That's
it'll be
the
lots
thing.
of fun. Yes.
Do you guys love the 90s? Do you miss it? Do you want that fashion to come back?
I think it was the ugliest
if you can
decade
pick
that I've ever been alive in. So I've been
The big
alive
hair.
through 5 decades. 80s was big hair though. I remember living through the 90s thinking, when is this going to change? It's so ugly.
Oh my gosh, I love all of it. I love the bright colors, the big bows, the leg warmers. I even got out my Swatch watch. Like, I'm ready to go.
Oh,
I'm
see,
super
and I guess
excited.
I grew up in the 80s, so I think the 80s was the ultimate best decade.
Okay.
She wants the
Well,
big
it was
hair.
like in between.
I don't
yeah.
like any of it.
Oh,
You don't like your life so far?
No,
any
no,
decade?
no 80s, no 90s style.
Really?
but you should probably love it. I'm loving it right now. It's like all of the cowboy inspiration.
See,
so
I can do that, and that's yeah.
Is that new though?
Oh.
Because I've been kind of faking like I'm a cowgirl for many years now.
but it's very, very much
Part of
yes. Right now,
norm.
like it's
Yeah.
very fashion
So
forward right
I can
now.
step it up even more.
So start wearing your cowgirl boots now.
Yes, every day.
Every other,
Yes.
get a few pairs.
I need more then.
And I
You
love
need more. Tell
Tell
your
someone
husband.
that I need
Tell your
more
husband
cowboy
that
boots.
it's time to shop for more.
I better go down to Rain.
But I love that they're mixing everything's up. Like, so it's like cowboy in the future look, but then you have kind of hippie cowboys, so like the crocheted look. So there's, I mean, everything's just kind of, they're mixing it
Yeah.
up, which is so fun.
So would it be wrong to do leg warmers with cowboy boots?
I'm gonna go with yeah.
You know what? I bet if you tried it.
But you do you.
Whatever style you want, right?
Oh my gosh, I just love shopping, so I'll buy anything.
Well, I wanted to share yesterday in my day job, we had our annual Best of Utah Valley luncheon. We unveiled the magazine, and back in January, February, all the residents in the valley can get on and vote for their favorite hair salon, day
yes.
spa, repair shop, company to work for. And so this is where we announce all the winners. Then we invite all those winners to a luncheon and unveil the magazine and invite them up to get
And then
an award.
they get to find out at that luncheon if they win or not?
They know they're in the top 3 because I'm like part of the sales team, and so we let them know because if you look through this magazine, there's a lot of ads.
Yes.
And a lot of the ads have the logo, like "Thank you for voting for us," or "Thank
Okay.
you for this," and so a lot. They know that they're in there. So it was just so fun though yesterday to start walking around because I didn't see the list. Obviously, everybody can't go to the lunch. But as I'm walking around the luncheon, so many people from Spanish Fort.
I wondered.
And I knew they had won,
awesome.
but that they came. Like, I think all of our auto repair, it's Clegg's, Dickerson, and Skiba.
I love Dickerson's.
Like, it is just awesome. I just walked around like,
That has to make you just feel so proud to be as a Spanish Fork resident. Just
Yeah.
like, look at all
Because-
these great business owners and business
Yeah.
people that people like. Not just that they have a good business, but people really
Right.
are the ones that say that's a good business.
and we have our county is growing. There's a lot of businesses around.
yeah.
So,
And the businesses receive a plaque or a sticker or something that they can display at their business,
Yes,
right?
this
Throughout the year.
Yeah, this little
I
logo.
look for that sometimes.
'Kay.
So, or when I get recommendations, if it's Best of Utah
Yeah.
Valley, like that's important to me.
yeah.
So that's
and it's
good.
funny because our designer, this has been going on 10 to 15 years. And when you design something, you don't know how long it's going to last, and the color sticks. And so he's like, should I have stuck black and red? Is that you can't change it now?
Right.
Is it kind of like a reddish orange color?
Oh, I look at it
battle?
more being red, but anyways, I just thought that was
Yeah.
fun.
I like the
was
votes
awesome.
when I'm picking food, or I like the votes when I'm picking maybe salons or
Yes.
spas. That's very important to me, or even like dance studios or businesses that your children attend or go
Yeah.
to. Like
a lot of retails, doctors, dentists. That's a
Oh,
really
yes,
heavy
yes.
category.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's important to them. They really work hard to get the votes, and we only let 1 vote per email come in. So we go through all of that, and they can really push it as much as they want. So anyways, it was a fun event.
oh, I bet.
And this is every year you give this word out. Mm-hmm. And then when do people vote for this?
We announce it in our January, February issue, and so I think it goes live like January 15th or
Okay.
January 31st, and it's only live for like 4 to 6 weeks of voting.
But that's still a lot of emails. But you get a lot of emails.
All right.
But we have a great show, and you have a special someone coming in.
I know.
We're excited to
He's
see him.
actually super handsome.
Well, let's see
Talk
who
about our guests like that.
No, well, you can.
and thanks for sitting in.
Yes.
having you here.
Yes. We miss Angie, but I'm always happy to be here.
Well, thank you.
Awesome. Well, it's time to get the chatter going. Let's get started. We love this season of the year because of all the new growth and especially the flowers. Our first guest has taken her love of flowers and has become a new local florist. Welcome Liz Binks with Fiddlehead Farms to the table.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh.
Yay!
What a fun profession, though. Doesn't this chear you up every day?
It
Like
absolutely
this would be
does.
a dream
It is so
job.
much fun. It is so much
They're
fun.
so detailed. Like you could have just brought in 1 flower, and I think we would have been like mystified. But you brought in all of these, and it's just like, oh,
I brought in what is blooming right now. I'm not technically a florist. I love to arrange flowers. I'm a flower farmer. So
A flower farmer.
So does that mean you're the middleman?
I am the middleman.
So you-
I'm the first man.
So you
first
grow.
one.
You're the
and
grower,
then-
okay.
And then what?
So I have a couple different ways to project the flowers out into the marketplace.
Okay.
One is through a wholesale market called PickLink, and it's a collective based in Midvale, and 21 or 22 farms bring their products to the market for florists to shop from.
Oh.
3 days a week. And so they come buy the flowers. A lot of them are event florists specific to weddings. And there are a few brick and mortar florists also that shop there, but they buy their flowers there and go off and create beautiful things. And then I get to see, often they will tag PickLink and I get to see what they do. And sometimes I'll see what I know I brought to market and I zoom in and I take a screenshot
Good for
and then I
you.
send it to my mom because I'm so excited.
Send it to Stacy.
I'll send
That'll
it to
make me
Stacy.
happy.
So that's one way.
Okay.
And that's probably 80 to 90% of where my flowers go.
Okay.
And then I sell market bouquets. If people just, DM me, call me. they
You'll
wanna-
put a bouquet
I'll put
together.
a bouquet together and they can take it to their mom or whoever
Okay.
needs it.
Because
some flowers.
last week, right before Mother's Day, you put something out that said, hey, if you want a bouquet,
Yeah.
swing by, they're this much.
Yeah.
Super affordable.
Yeah, it was fun.
So do you have like a morning every week that you go up to Midvale and do this? Do you have like, my set day is Wednesdays.
My set day for harvesting is Mondays, are Mondays and Thursdays, because market is Tuesday and Friday.
Okay.
There's also a Wednesday market, but anyway, yeah.
Okay.
So those are the days I harvest. I head out early while it's still cool. These are ranunculus, and they're usually closed up tight in the morning. That's when you want to harvest them. So
Ranunculus.
ranunculus, yeah.
Wow.
So do you have any help?
My daughter Caitlin
Okay.
is my first employee.
Okay.
She washes buckets and stamps the sleeves, and she'll start harvesting once she's out of school.
So how did you learn the trade, or how did you get into flower farming?
Well, it's fun.
Okay.
I've been a hobby flower grower for a few years. It's interesting. I've loved landscape design. I've loved anything plant-wise. That's where I studied. That's what I studied in college
Okay.
and so forth. I didn't really get into cut flowers until about 3 years ago. And 2 years ago, I think, or a year ago, some dear friends who also have a flower farm in Spanish Fork called,
Okay.
their farm's called Fiore di Ioli, and their names are Reed and Yolette Warner. They came to me and said, we are looking for more growers to help supply the market
Okay.
at PickLink. Are you interested? And I was like, I don't know, am I? I don't know. And I just started dabbling, and now I'm hooked. I love it so much. It is such a joy.
So do you have, I mean, what does one get into do this? I mean, do you have an acre, or do you have like
yeah.
greenhouses, or how does all of that work?
I do live in the county, so I
Okay.
do have plenty of space.
Perfect.
But you don't need it. You don't
Okay.
need it. Some people are flower farmers on their quarter-acre lot. You can really pack a lot of
Wow.
room. You can pack a lot of things into a small space. But I do have a high tunnel, and so that's why I can get these. Because
That's so intriguing.
Yeah,
And when you put that out specifically, is it because of the height?
the stem length. I've grown ranunculus in the field in low tunnels before.
Okay.
And gotten them about this high. And I was intrigued and enamored with them. But it's a whole new ballgame now this year
Wow.
with the high tunnel. Or low, I mean, it's a high tunnel. Some people call it a hoop house. Some people call it an unheated greenhouse.
Pull some of them
do you
out and
do
like
it?
show us. Oh, and go
Yeah,
ahead.
so this is what's blooming now.
Yeah.
But so you do them for every season, like
I do.
summer bloomers, fall bloomers.
And and I love there's kind of a new movement amongst florists, local florists. They want locally grown flowers because for several reasons. They last longer. They haven't been shipped.
Okay.
You can get things locally that you can't get through an international market because they just don't ship well. So there are many flowers that we can supply to them that's exciting for them, something new to work with, rather than just the standard beautiful flowers that come in and that
Right.
are shipped in, but
Yeah.
still they're just different and they are excited about that.
Wow, I mean,
Isn't that
those
fun?
look so they look so perfect and
I
beautiful.
know.
They look not real, but
Right.
they are real.
They are real. Yeah, so I have, do you want me to pull some out? Is that what
Yes,
it
I
says?
just
Yes.
want to hear about them. Like,
Okay.
they're
Well, so there's
beautiful.
the growing, and then and then the arranging. So did you take like an arranging class?
Yes,
or,
I did. I took a class from Wright Floral in Springville.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
That was really fun. I loved it. I loved
Okay.
it so much. So I took that class. Learned a lot of good basics. I'm not an event florist. I couldn't do what they do, but I can throw together market bouquets and I'm learning.
You
I'm
just
having
threw
fun.
together
yes,
these,
yes.
and they are just like a personal little something. I took some lilacs off the tree and put them in a vase, and my daughter came in. She's like, "Wow." They're just so floppy, I'm like, I know I can't do it. I can't do it.
You could do it. You could do it.
I could barely get the little packet that comes sometimes with the bouquet and trying to keep them alive. Yes.
Yes.
And is there something to cutting the stem on a diagonal or?
That is often
Is that
touted as
true?
good advice. Yeah, it just
Okay.
gives more surface for
Okay.
that capillary action of that water.
Okay.
throughout the stem.
Okay. Well, that's
you
probably
have-
the only thing I've learned.
And do you have a favorite? Do you have like if you could
Yes.
pick, you know,
Ranunculus are my favorite.
these ones?
These are just in the spring. It's so hard to say.
sad.
I have to say goodbye in June to these. Yeah, it
The
just gets
orange
too
I
hot.
love.
These little pink ones, is that a ranunculus?
These right here.
Yes, that one.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, let's pull that out. So that's,
Oh,
isn't that pretty?
Isn't that gorgeous,
that.
right?
do they?
What about this?
So these
Oh, I know. That's allium. And it's just fun. And you might
are
see
these
in
hard
yards.
to if I wanted to grow these in my backyard, how hard is it?
You could do it. You could grow them in your yard. They do take a few extra steps because
Okay.
you buy corms, kind of like a bulb for a tulip or a daffodil. You buy the corm, which looks like a little dried. I should have brought some. They're like little dried octopi.
Really?
That's what they look like, and they
A
have
little bulb with little
yeah,
things?
with little tentacles. That's what it looks
Okay.
like. And you have, and generally, for good practice, you soak them for a few hours. Then you pre-sprout them in some soil in a tray for 2 weeks. 1 week in
Okay.
the cold, 1 week in the house, 1 week in the garage.
Already,
1 week
I'm
in the house.
already done.
This is like I know, so many steps. This is like a recipe for something that's like
the
10 ingredients. You're
reward.
like done.
I mean, nobody would have these. If I put these in my front, people would be like, "How did you do that?"
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
so
it
a
was
week in the
easy.
cold, a week in the.
It just to get some good, because then it pre-sprouts, so it grows some roots and a little bit of green, a few green tips, and then at that point they're ready to plant. But if you're going to, you can plant them anytime. Well, if you're going to grow them outside, you need to plant them probably in March, because I have
they can handle
protection.
the cold.
They're a cool season flower, and
Okay.
they do need some protection in the winter. So if you wanted to plant them in November, you could, but you would need to keep the ground from freezing. You could use some straw, some
Okay.
frost cover, low tunnels.
okay.
Then I have a low tunnel and a high tunnel. So there's lots of layers of protection going into these.
Gotcha.
Water them all winter, which is another hassle. So but then you get long stems.
It seems like so much for one little lady. So how do you manage your time?
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Yes,
how much
early morning
time I
hours,
spend.
right?
Yeah.
But you can
Wow.
just see how happy she is
Right.
doing it.
The
Like,
reward
blast.
when they
Well,
start
flowers always provide happiness, I think. I mean, just looking at them makes us all
they're
happy.
so beautiful.
coming. So tell me about the purple ones.
Yeah,
That
so
look like
this is an ornamental allium, so it's in the onion family.
Oh.
And it doesn't smell oniony though. These particular ones don't. But yeah, those are easy. Buy the bulbs, plant them in the fall, you get them in the spring.
And then they come
No
up
work.
every year.
And they'll come up every year.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
They're so tall.
So that one's easy. There's another flower in here.
Like this one that she's pulling out, totally
See, I
looks
wouldn't
fake.
know how to put this all together.
doesn't even
I would
look
go
real.
like traditional, like roses and baby's breath. That's all I know.
So these
doesn't
are
even look real.
anemone. And
Oh my
isn't
gosh.
that beautiful? And
You
it's
love purple,
interesting.
Oh, I'm in love. Yes.
Yeah.
You're the purple
Here are
girl.
some white
Oh,
ones.
beautiful.
I didn't bring any panda. Panda is white, has white petals and a black center, kind of like that, has a black center.
Yeah, I
But
like it.
it's interesting. In the lighting in the studio, they're starting to close up. But in the midday sun, they just flare open. It's really fun. And then they close up tightly at night.
Oh my
Isn't that pretty?
It would be so fun to also have you come back in the fall, because I've been over to your farm in the fall, and it's just as exciting and invigorating.
A whole new set of things growing.
Yeah, it's just as beautiful.
Wow.
It's just breathtaking.
much fun.
Okay, so if people are watching, they need to follow Fiddlehead Farms.
Fiddlehead Farms, Utah.
Okay,
I
Fiddlehead
believe.
Farms. Where did the name come from?
Oh, okay. Well, do you know what a fiddlehead is besides the head of a fiddle?
No, I
It's
don't.
like the head of a violin.
Right, okay.
So that's
The
one
kind of the
fiddlehead,
scroll, okay.
So ferns just your typical ferns that grow in the shade in the mountains. When they come up, they're shaped like that fiddlehead, and so they are called fiddleheads.
Fiddlehead fern.
And fiddlehead, it's the baby frond of a fern. Any fern, that baby frond is called a fiddlehead. And they're so charming, they're so delightful, I love them. And because of that, because of how much joy they bring me, in addition to the fact that my grandpa grew ferns in his yard in Springville and gave me some to plant in my home in Spanish Fork, so I did. And then I moved them to my new home. And they just keep living on. And so because of that and that tie I have to my grandpa,
Wow.
that's the name of my farm. And,
I did not know
and then farms is plural because it sounds expansive. Like there's no limit.
I love it. I love it. You're such a
no limit.
joy. The flowers are such a joy.
Oh
Thank
my
you
gosh, this
so,
was
so
so fun to
much.
have
Thank you for having me.
Yes, best of luck.
Thank you so much.
Recently, the city reorganized a committee with the sole purpose of saving the history of our community. Let's welcome Kevin Euler from the City Council, who oversees the Historic Preservation Commission, to the table.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Hello, welcome.
Thank you. Happy to be here with you ladies and with my wife.
I know that. Have you guys ever
Yay.
sat here together?
Were you here? I've been
I
on
was-
once before. I can't remember
But
if
Yes, with his movie.
Yeah, but you
Yes.
weren't here, were you?
Yes.
Oh, you were?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is
So
our
second time.
second time.
Gosh,
There
we
you
just
go.
keep having you back. You're so multifaceted.
I love it.
Yeah.
Happy to be here.
I missed that time. I'm sorry, but you do
Yes.
get to sit at the very new
Yeah,
table.
this is awesome,
This is
right?
a fantastic table.
So you sit on the new commission, historical commission. So tell us a little bit about what you guys want to do. What's the purpose?
So the Spanish Fork Historic Preservation Commission is exactly what it sounds like. If you think of the city of Spanish Fork, which was founded in the 1850s,
Okay.
there's 170 years of history within the city of Spanish Fork that goes back to the Welsh, the English, the Icelanders, lots and lots of history in Spanish Fork. And so our committee, the purpose is to really educate people about the history and heritage of Spanish Fork, to identify artifacts and preserve things that people can look at and remember the history of Spanish Fork, and really just to share with the community as our city continues to grow, bring people in and help them feel a part of the community and feel a part of the heritage that we have here in Spanish Fork.
Well, you know what's historic? You having a birthday today.
Wow, that wasn't supposed to come
Producer
up.
Pete,
That wasn't supposed to come up.
you know what? When you're coming into film on Studio Chatter on your birthday,
Wait. Today.
We
Couldn't think. I could
birthday?
not think of. It's my birthday. What's the song? It's my birthday.
It's your birthday.
Cannot think
Gonna
of better
party
people
like
to be
it's
spending
your
my birthday with.
and even
Thank
a
you.
cake.
There you
Thank
go.
you.
do we
You
want
guys
to
are-
eat it while you're talking, or
You're
you're going to have a lot to say?
Yeah, I'll just eat it while I'm talking if that's all right.
Make
I'll
sure your
just
mouth is full.
full mouth.
I hope that your celebration is bigger than Studio Chatter.
It will be. It's more. Oh my heck! Holy guacamole! It's your
Holy
birthday.
guacamole.
Wow, thank
there you go.
You have brightened my day. Thank
It's
you.
This weekend, right?
Yeah, this
We've
weekend
been,
we'll
we've been
spend
running
some time.
crazy.
Today's
So
been a little
when you
hectic,
get this
but
old, you just celebrate whenever.
whenever you can.
When you're a kid, it has to be on your birthday, or it's.
I'm not touching the cake, just so you know. It's wrapped.
Okay, so while she's
All right.
wrapping your cake, tell us who sits on the commission.
So the commission has 4 residents of Spanish Fork, and then there are 3 city employees, and then 1 city council member, which is myself. So 8
Okay.
people total.
Okay.
We want a mix of individuals that have, first of all, a desire to learn about the history of Spanish Fork and share it with others.
Okay.
We've got some genealogists. We've got Mary Martin, who is in our planning and development department. She has a background and a degree in historic preservation. So she is an
That's awesome.
she's an awesome resource. Of course, we've got Pete.
The first slide.
Pete and SFCN, you think of the years of video footage that SFCN, SF17 has of the history of Spanish Fork, and so we've got Pete on our committee as well. So
Well, and to recreate, I've seen some old photos of parts of the city, and you can give them to Pete or his team, And then they can go and they can take a picture of now, what it looks like now.
Yeah, one fun one
Which
that we
is
recently
cool.
did was we found a picture, I scanned a picture that we found
small one.
in the Thurber building of the Spanish Fork High School, the one that was early 1970s. And it was an aerial, and so I had Travis, who is an employee for SF-17, fly a drone and get almost the exact same shot. And it's really fascinating and fun just to see the change of
Oh, I'm
of
sure.
the high school and the area, and now it's changing again, right, with the new high school being built. So
I'm wondering, so the folks that you invited to be on the committee, is it an invitation? Were they propositioned? How do they rotate? How does that work?
committee members have terms, and so they'll sit for 1 year, 2 year, 3 years.
Okay.
Our initial meeting, we kind of discuss how long would you like to serve, and then as long as they have a desire to continue serving on the committee, then they can re-up, they can continue to be on the committee. If there are other individuals that have an interest of being on this committee or other committees that the city has, you can go to the Spanish Fork website, and there's a document you can actually fill out that lets the city know you have an interest in serving in one of our many committees that we have in Spanish Fork.
Perfect.
And a shout out to Kevin. Like, as a council member, you're already assigned to several committees. So whenever someone comes up with an additional idea, you kind of need to be ready that you're going to be on another committee and oversee that. So this is a big one, Kevin. So thanks for taking more time out of your day and your family to do this, because this is really important.
It is important, and I'm happy to do it. I love the history of Spanish Fork. In
What
fact,
kind-
today, sorry.
Oh,
to
no,
cut you
go
off.
ahead.
Today I was in J-Mart, and sitting on the counter was this Spanish Fork history book. And I started looking through it, and I'm like, I've got to have one of these. So,
Yeah.
so I got one of their Spanish Fork history books.
Happy
and so
birthday to you.
That was my birthday present to myself, right?
Yes.
I knew it'd be a perfect present for you. I told Lane to just set it out on the table.
It was
You would
perfect.
see it.
It was perfect.
So what other types of projects can we expect?
So let's talk about the big project that the committee is very excited about, and it's coming up the end of this month, actually. We are going to start in Spanish Fork a Veterans Banner Program. And what that is, we actually brought one of them
Want me
here
to hold your
today
balloon? Are you
to show
gonna-
you. Yeah, let me describe the program, and then we'll show what the banners actually look like. So residents or members of our community that have a veteran who has passed that served in the military have the opportunity to honor that veteran by purchasing a banner. And these banners will be hung on Main Street during the weeks of Memorial Day, and then also again during
So
the
weekend or the whole week?
the week leading up to, and then the full week after. And
So right
almost-
now, when this
okay.
is playing, people can drive
We'll
down Main
start
Street.
seeing
and we'll be
this.
able to see them.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
haven't seen these. I'm excited.
Yeah, so these are exciting. So Veterans, Memorial Day, Veterans Day, and then we're also going to display, and we will have people that will be in the parade route, and we'll carry them down the parade on the 24th of July. So 3 opportunities to have them displayed for their family members. The cost, people are going to ask, well, what does it cost if I want to do it?
And I think you can find out online.
Yeah, you can go to the
So-
Spanish Fork website and see that. They will fly, so after a family member purchases it, they will have them, we will display them for 3 years from the time of purchase. So it's not
Okay.
just a 1-year thing, it's a 3-year thing.
Okay,
So why
and then
don't
they
we,
will probably get the banner in the end.
probably not
Okay.
because of the way that we're doing the banners to try and save money. The
Oh.
banners are double-sided, meaning
Gotcha.
there will be a veteran on one side and a different veteran on the
Okay.
opposite side. So for that reason, it might be difficult.
Awkward.
Unless you knew 2 people and they were on the same. Just kidding.
Split it. Say, hey, I'll take it from
Possibly.
January to
Oh.
June.
So
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay.
let's unwind it this way.
Oh, wow.
The banners are 7 feet tall,
Yes,
so
they
they
are.
are very tall.
Oh my gosh. this
And
is
2
so
feet wide.
That's
beautiful.
amazing.
So, just to
I
give
think
you a
you're-
look, you've got up on top Spanish Fork Historic Commission, but then you've got the name of the veteran, the branch of the military they served in, their photo and then their ranks and the wars that the war or where they served. And so,
This is beautiful.
Oh, that is fantastic.
so yeah, but if you've not seen these, like you say, by the time people see this on the show, they should be hung on Main Street. So
Oh, wow.
go for a little drive and
Was
check
this
it out.
your idea? Or
No,
did you sit
Angela
together and-
Angela Beecher, who's on our committee.
Okay.
She is from Wellsville, Little Wellsville, Utah, which is way up north by Logan. And Wellsville, just this little tiny community, has done this for years and years and years. And so she approached me and said, I would love if we could start this up in Spanish Fork, and we were all on board.
Yeah.
So, Kevin, remind me, did they have to be from Spanish Fork?
Yes.
Or pass away and they're
So-
buried here? Like, what's the rule?
Yeah, so the rules for the veteran is that they have to have lived in Spanish Fork. So
Okay.
that's
At some point?
At some point in their
Okay.
life, they have to have lived in Spanish Fork. So that's where we're at right now because of we don't know how many we'll get. So we don't
How
know
many- how many do you have
veterans
right
we'll
now?
get. This year, we were kind of in a hurry to get this out and running, so we didn't really advertise it a lot. But even with the limited advertising we did, we've got 22 veterans
Oh.
that
And-
will be displayed.
What will be full capacity? Or do you have a max?
We don't know for
Okay.
sure,
It
but-
just kind of depends on how
Yeah.
it goes.
And
Okay.
then where is a map or somewhere that they can find those names?
This is our first run, so we're still kind of working through some of the
Okay.
questions.
So just
and-
hop onto
and
the little
other things.
search bar online. You'll figure it out.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, so what other cool things? Like, I don't even know if I know all the things you guys have going on.
So some of the other projects that we're working on or wanting to do in the future, one with buildings, old buildings in our community. So for example, the Spanish Fork High School. The old high school is about to be demolished, and so we spent some time going through and photographing almost the entire school. And so with that building and other buildings like the Del Monte building and possibly the sugar beet factory, we want to go and document these buildings before they come down so that they can be remembered, through history.
Perfect.
Other projects, sorry to cut you off.
No, you're
Natasha. Other projects, we will be doing or have planned lecture series where monthly people can come and we'll have a different topic where people come and learn about the history of Spanish Fork. Some of the topics that we will have are the history of the Spanish Fork High School, Icelandic heritage, our sister cities in Iceland, the Fiesta Days. How did Fiesta Days start? Why do we celebrate Fiesta Days? So those are part of the lecture series.
And those will be held monthly, right?
Those will
At
be
Library
monthly,
Hall?
yeah,
Okay.
but-
Yeah, I don't
Library
even
Hall.
know if I know who started Fiesta Days and how that got going.
Well, I'm sure that we will learn
We'll
more,
find out.
right?
Now we have
You
to
will
watch.
find out. Come to the lecture series.
Kevin,
Well,
this is fun.
it's time for you to go and celebrate your birthday now because we're out of time today.
Oh,
so
sweet.
come
There
back
you
and
go.
visit
Thank
us
you.
another time.
Happy birthday.
Thank
Happy
you.
birthday.
Thanks for being
Pete.
here.
Thank you.
We love our holidays for the time off and getting together with loved ones, but we wonder if we're really sharing what the holiday is all about. Let's talk about Memorial Day.
Let's talk about it.
Yes.
Yes.
So, the history, what
This-
it means.
Yeah, so I actually looked this up because I was curious and because I was a little confused with Memorial Day, Veterans Day, Armed Forces Day. We have all these holidays that kind of sound the same.
Right.
One thing I learned is that in 1865, this is the end of the Civil War. This is when Memorial Day kind of started. It wasn't
okay.
It wasn't necessarily called Memorial Day, but there was so many people that died in the Civil War. We know that people all over the country were having these memorial where they would just go put things on the graves and everything, and so eventually they created a national holiday to do
okay.
that, to recognize. So Memorial Day is recognizing those who died in service
Okay.
to the country.
So not just anyone that has died. It's really
It's those
for
who,
our veterans.
yes, and they may have died on the field, or maybe they were wounded and then died later.
Okay, yeah.
So either one, just from the battle, from
Okay.
war or whatever.
Okay.
From any war. So then you have Armed Forces Day.
Okay.
And I don't even know if that's on my calendar, but it says it's the third Saturday in May.
Okay.
So Armed Forces Day includes honoring people who have served in the military, including those who are currently serving. So right now, so maybe they're serving right now.
Okay.
Whereas Memorial Day is they died in war. Then you have Veterans Day. So the difference between all those is Veterans Day honors Americans who died while serving, and also it's, let's see, I have it written down here just to make sure I have it right. Okay, so living, so they honor those who have died and those who are living, who've served in the military.
Okay.
So both.
Just all veterans, but kind of in different.
In different ways.
ways.
And they used to do like the Navy or the Air Force or, and now it's kind of compiled into all
of them.
All of them, whatever branch of the military you serve.
Okay.
It's all of them. So
That's
they say when Memorial Day's here, don't say Happy Memorial Day. That's not, you don't say, because we're honoring people who have passed away because of the war.
And through their service for our country,
And through
for
their
our freedom.
service.
So have either of you been to the local Memorial Day program put on by our veterans at the Spanish Fork City Cemetery?
I have been there. I've been to one of them. And it was actually the first year I went and found because my grandfather fought in World War II, and they put all those,
Yes, all the flags. Founders field.
And I found the one that was his, and then I found his name on the plaque. And I feel bad saying that I'd never, but when I grew up, my parents never took me down there. You know, again, this is something we have to teach our kids and pass on. It can't be something that you just know Veterans Day or Memorial Day. It's something
Because
that
it's
you
a
have to-
3-day weekend and you go camping or you
this
do
is the
whatever.
beginning of
is,
summer.
right?
This is some people
Right.
say
It
this
really
is the
is.
beginning of summer where this is a sacred day.
Yeah. It's interesting. I had never been to the Memorial Day program at the cemetery until I was on council, and it blew me away. They always have an incredible speaker, and such respect is shown, and then all of the flags of those who have served. So this year on Memorial Day, the service is at 10:30 at Spanish Fork City Cemetery, but you can go to any cemetery, and I think they do those services. I think Salem's is like at 8 a.m., just different times. So find out locally what you can go do, because it's such an incredible opportunity.
No, I would agree. I think if you haven't made the trip to one of the cemeteries before to maybe learn why there's a celebration isn't the word, but maybe
A day of honor.
Yes, right. I would agree that that's super important. So.
One other thing I didn't know is that, and maybe they don't tell people this, but at 3 o'clock, that 3 o'clock on Memorial Day is the time where you have like a moment of silence, where you think about and reflect.
No, I never knew that.
And I didn't know that either until I found it online. And so either someone has tricked me really good, or at 3 o'clock everybody needs to just have a moment of silence.
Okay.
I like
on Memorial
that.
Day.
So I wanted to ask you guys, I feel like we're kind of the middle generation of where my mom and mother-in-law and grandparents, Memorial Day was a day where you would go to the different cemeteries and respect and honor those who had passed and put flowers there. My generation, what about the 20-year-olds? Do you think this is going to be a tradition that's continued?
I think it matters, again, if they were taught that, or maybe they know somebody. Maybe they joined the military and all of a sudden this matters because their comrade passed away.
Right.
Or someone that they know, or we don't know if there will be future wars. Hopefully not, but we live in such a volatile world, and maybe that will bring us back to remembrance. Again, this would never have occurred if it weren't for a war, and realizing the tremendous loss that every family, I'm sure, felt.
Right.
Well, I would hope or believe that it will continue to be recognized or carried on even since, 1865?
The end of the Civil War.
So whenever we think that we're at the end of a generation or something, they find a different way. So
Yeah.
I
And
think,
maybe they'll do something different. It may look
Maybe.
different
Right.
in the future,
Yep.
which is a challenge, right?
Yes.
when younger kids want to do something that looks a little different, we're like, no, but we're used to doing it this way.
Right.
Well, what I love is that you can reflect back, even do your genealogy or your family history. Maybe there was someone who served in the Revolutionary War in your genealogy. And how cool that would be to see that, and then maybe it would matter a little more to you, but that you could see what kind of people you came from.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, so maybe it's just not something, but you can make a connection some way.
And make a conversation within your home. Maybe it's not always going to the cemetery to the program. Maybe it is the conversation within your home.
I agree.
Great
Well,
discussion.
let's make it a point.
Okay, thanks, friends.
We all know that when cancer strikes, the battle can be fierce, but that doesn't even consider the cost of the treatments. Welcome Nick Thiel with the CARE Foundation, a group that focuses on helping kids fight the financial battle of cancer to the table. Welcome.
Hi, Nick.
Hi.
What an important job you have.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
To
that's
do this.
it's amazing. I
And
love it.
you're right here from Spanish Fork, right?
Yep. I live up in Covered Bridge, just up the canyon.
Oh, okay.
Oh, how nice.
Yeah. But yep, been here for 9 years. I'm from Texas originally. So
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How did it begin?
honestly, it began 2 years ago as kind of a completely different thing. I started the nonprofit actually for my kids, not because they have cancer, but because I wanted my kids to have a way to get involved and for me to kind of have opportunities to give them.
Love that.
And I just thought, if kids are going to be serving kids, or if kids are going to be serving, then they should be serving kids. It just kind of clicked for them. So we picked to help kids fight cancer. And once we got going and kind of seeing the projects they got involved in, we were like, all kids need an opportunity to do this. So we turned it into a 501c3. It's quite the process to do that. And yeah, that's what we've been doing ever since.
Wow.
We do things a little differently than a traditional nonprofit now.
Okay.
What we've done in the past, with a traditional nonprofit, it's a lot of networks, who you know, grant writing, and doing things where honestly that were just outside of my reach with the situation that I was in. And just this last January, I decided, we've got to take a different approach to this. So what we started to do was to unify our mission so that we focus solely on business owners. So what we do is we try to get the community and business owners united in the cause to help kids fight cancer. So any business that wants to join us, we invite them to fundraise for us, and then we do everything in our power to reach out to the community members and say, hey, these are the businesses that are really getting involved to help local families battling childhood cancer. And by supporting them, you're ultimately making an impact. And we're not going to ask you for donations. We're not going to ask you to even commit your time. We're going to ask you to support the people who are already doing so. The backstory to that is over the 2 years that I've been doing this, I do it full time. I've never received a penny from the nonprofit. So financially, it's been kind of a challenge. And you guys have probably experienced that, where even if you go to Costco and check out, it's like, hey, do you want to donate to the Children's Miracle Network? Or hundreds and hundreds of other amazing causes that we would love to donate to.
Right.
Sometimes it's just not realistic for people to donate to. So it was kind of hard for me in that financial situation to have to say no all the time. So I decided nobody should feel this way. We're going to make a nonprofit where people don't need to donate. If they want to support businesses that are donating, then that's great, and we can make a bigger impact that way.
Oh, wow, that's
So,
really cool. So how do your kids, I'm curious to know, you've got your kids involved, so how do they react being able to, how does it change them?
Well,
Like this
it's emotional all around. I mean, it's something that really hits home. So for example, my daughter has a sewing nonprofit program where she sews doll dresses and then provides them, to little girls that are battling cancer. She also has an initiative where she would get together with some friends, and she plays the piano. So their friends came together and put together a Christmas concert when it became a benefit concert to raise money for kids with cancer. One of the girls that was kind of like our, hate to say this, but our poster child. Like, we would publish articles about her, and she had osteosarcoma, so she lost her leg, and she was such a fighter, 11 years old. But she was the most positive little girl we ever seen. Well, she was one of the girls that we literally put this concert on for, and she was supposed to be there and couldn't make it because she got sick. My daughter, sewed her a Christmas stocking and wanted to give it to her, but all that fell through. So we still had the chance to raise the money, but 6 weeks later we get the news that this little girl passed away. and it's just kind of what we do, you know, and
Yeah.
it's just hard. But it's great when kids can see that they're actually making a difference.
Yeah.
Because sometimes kids are asked kind of the stereotypical things of, you know, go host a lemonade stand. Not that those things are bad.
Yeah.
But
This is a
children,
little deeper, it
children
feels
have the
like.
potential to give themselves. My two youngest, my 7 and 11 well, she's 12 now, but they have their baking business, so they bake cookies to take to people just to raise awareness for cancer. My son is
Wow,
17. He does
cute.
service with me in our business just to get the word out, and I think it's life changing for them. I hope it's
Yeah,
having
it
the
sounds
effect
like
that it
it.
is. But then other kids get involved.
And they'll
that's-
grow up and they'll probably teach their kids
That's exactly
and
what
see
I was
this
thinking.
wave
I
that
hope
just
so.
here's a single person who starts this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, that's a great parenting and how you instill
Oh.
that very early
Thanks. Yeah.
for them to want to do that outreach.
Yeah. It's important to us. And
So Nick, can you give us like a couple hands-on or just examples of businesses that have chosen to support you?
yeah. So some of the ones that we're kind of closest to, one of our newest sponsors, I don't know if you know Mercedes and Jeremy with the fellows.
Yes.
Yeah, the fellows
Okay.
barbershop. They're some of our biggest supporters. And what they do is they just tell their customers, hey, if you buy anything from us, just use this promo code for the charity, and we're going to donate 10% of it. That's a typical situation that we have with business owners. But then we have others, like just today I got a phone call from Justin Hutchins, who's a fantastic realtor here in Spanish Fork. He's been one of my biggest supporters since day one of the nonprofit. Wow. And he just closed a deal that came to him because he's a sponsor of our charity. So we send out mailers sometimes. This person got the mailer, and I guess that was the tipping point to hire him. So he was really excited to call me. So not only does Justin donate every month, which, I mean, Justin is just such a generous person, but then, you know, he didn't have to make this additional donation today, but he was so grateful that he got the business from it. So just today he submitted another donation. And then the same thing happened with a pest control company from social media today. They saw something that we did in the community. It was sponsored by Simplex Pest Control. So we thanked them in the post, and from this post, somebody reached out to them. And if anything happens from that, that'll be an additional donation that Matt Malstead, who owns Simplex Pest Control. So our job is to show the community how amazing these businesses are. They give without expecting anything in return. But when they do get something in return, they donate even more. And that's just a good business decision, and that's how it should be. But what's exciting is to see how the community wants to support these business owners. So we're doing everything we possibly can to just let the community know who these business owners are and what they're doing for these kids.
That makes so much sense. Like, I think that's why a lot of businesses join a local chamber of commerce, because the community, like, if you're supporting the Chamber of Commerce, I want to support you.
Yeah.
So very similar.
Exactly. Business owners gave me this idea. I literally, I changed paths because I remember, because it was on my birthday, March 29th of last year, Jersey Mike's had their day of, I don't know what they call the day, but it was basically every sale made that day went to
Okay.
Make-A-Wish.
Okay.
And it literally determined where I was having lunch that day. It sounds super simple, but it changed my mindset of, I changed a purchasing decision based on some good that was going to come.
Right.
And I was like, there's no reason we can't multiply this by 1,000. So now whether you get a free home and auto quote from Shane Palley's team at Farmers Insurance, he's going to make a donation to charity. If you get a free braces quote from Trapner Orthodontics in Springville, they're going to make a donation to our charity. So all these businesses are seeing not just the potential to do good, but it does good for their businesses as well. So it creates a win-win. So everybody wants it to succeed.
And every business isn't having to do, you have to donate 10% of this to our company. You're more, do what makes sense.
Exactly.
To you, what works for you.
They're donating regardless of whether they get something in return.
Gotcha.
But we've added that, by the way, it's a really good business decision that if the customer mentions our fundraiser, would you be willing to make an additional donation? Because I promise you, I've done it, and we've had countless examples that people will make simple decisions. Now, if you have a very intimate relationship with your dentist or something like that, I'm not saying you're going to change those major purchasing decisions, but on day-to-day decisions, absolutely. If somebody has a problem with pest control and they're just going to Google a company, would they choose a certain one over another just because this opportunity is literally going to help kids fight cancer? We've seen it time and time again. So
Well, that says a lot about the business too.
It does.
I mean, like you said, so if I know that a business is charitable, then I'm like, oh yeah, that's who I do want to support them, and especially for cancer, because I think every one of us knows somebody who's had cancer, but especially the kids. So do you ever get to see any of the kids or specific people that the money goes to?
I see from a distance. When we get 100% of the funds we raise go to help kids, but it goes in different ways. We either give directly to the families, and we know of some of them that we absolutely understand that they financially need our help, and we could write a check directly to them. But there are actually a lot of really good foundations already here in Utah that are more hands-on with the parents because their own kids have had cancer, and in both of the cases of the ones we support, their kids have passed away from it. I don't think I could emotionally handle it. I had a hard time watching two little girls pass away 3 days apart from each other, and I've never met them in person. I'm not strong enough to do that. But other people are in the front lines, and we're here to support them. And we know, we check their financials, we know what's happening with the money. There's just no question that that's the right way for us to do it.
Okay.
Well, if we want to help, we've seen a couple of things posted recently about some junk removal.
Okay.
Can you tell us about that?
So like I was saying, I haven't been paid by the nonprofit, but I do have to provide for my family. My wife is a stay-at-home mom, and she homeschools our 4 kids, and that's just the situation that we're in. So my 17-year-old son, he was 16 at the time, we started a junk removal company.
Awesome. Okay.
And what we do is we donate up to 100% of the proceeds for any junk removal that's done if the nonprofit has any operating costs, to try to keep all of the money, all of the donations from the public to go to the kids.
Okay.
Apart from that, anything profit that's made, we're just like any other business. We donate 10 to 20% minimum from every job that we do. I invested the money, we wrapped our trailers so that it's basically a driving billboard. So it promotes utcares.org, which is basically our fundraising site. So we're just constantly, that's one of the many things we're doing to constantly show the community, like, these are the businesses you want to be supporting. So if I have to go out and haul someone's trash away to raise awareness, that's what I'm going to do.
Okay, well, we super appreciate it.
Yeah,
okay.
thanks for being here.
Yeah.
So it
thank you
is
for
the
having
CARE Foundation online.
Yeah,
Okay.
the CARE Foundation. And our fundraising site is utcares.org. That's just where we consolidate all of the businesses. And
Okay.
make
Thanks
it
for what
possible.
you're
doing great
Oh,
things.
Thank you for having
Thanks
me.
so much.
I appreciate your time.
We talked about health struggles, saving history, and enjoying a simple flower. We learn so much every episode.
My gosh, those flowers. Just think, right when you read flower, I'm like, those were so pretty.
And they smelled so good. If only we could help the smell, get the smell through the TV so people could smell them.
And wouldn't they look perfect on anyone's table?
Oh,
But let's talk
speaking
it.
of tables, we've done our whole first episode.
Yes.
What did you guys think?
With this beautiful
With the layout?
table. I love it.
It's awesome.
The sturdiness, the way it was built, the way it was designed.
Yeah. Thank you, Producer P and Stacy with Curated Home Design. You can follow Stacy on Instagram. She has a lot of fun ideas. I'm following her, and I'm like, I've got to give her a call and say, hey, just wander through this main level and give me some ideas and a little bit of help.
Yes, this is perfect.
Yeah.
We love it.
Bigger. I like the angles.
I do too.
The angles, the shelf, the chairs, it's all good.
It's serving a
The
better
color,
purpose.
I like the black. I kind of feel like when you're looking out there, it looks a little bit like a baby grand, and I'm watching it on the.
Yes.
I'm looking at it on the
If we
wrong
just had some
side.
little ivories to tickle right down here.
Yeah, that I could just sit here. We could lift it up. I mean, maybe Pete could have bought a baby grand. Nah, it would have cost a lot more
I think
money.
he's saying no. It would have been a
Would've been.
noisy.
Well, you're going home to a birthday boy
Yes.
who also educated us on the new commission, the History Commission.
Okay, and I loved the banners that we're doing.
Yes,
Guys, I'm so
amazing.
excited about that.
That's going to be cool.
What a good feeling to drive down Main Street and to see and honor those people.
Yeah.
Yes, fantastic.
Such a great committee.
Yes, and the lovely flowers, and then also the 501.
Yeah.
Yes, that's fantastic. Helping kids
with cancer.
But he's really teaching all of that through his own children. Like to incorporate your kids so
That's the bigger
deeply in
message.
doing in that. Yeah.
Really, and they're seeing it from him and seeing the joy that he has. They will for sure be very awesome citizens who will give back to their communities. That's what you want.
Yep. I agree.
instilling that knowledge, and then learning a little bit more about Memorial Day.
Yeah.
So that was all great education.
Yeah. Well,
A feel-good episode, right?
Absolutely.
Thanks for being here with us. We hope you've enjoyed the conversation. If you learned something new, please tell a friend about us.